Welcome to today's deep dive. We are looking at a really fascinating sermon today by Pastor Sung No at Praise Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, focusing on Philippians chapter 2, verses 1 through 8.
Right, exactly. And the mission for this deep dive is, well, to figure out how a mind-bending cosmic paradox from this ancient text actually serves as like a highly practical blueprint for surviving human conflict.
And our absolute obsession with being right.
Oh man, yeah. Because think about it, when you are in the middle of a heated argument, every instinct tells you to just double down.
Right, plant your flag and win at all costs.
Yeah.
We're practically hardwired to just climb to the top of the hill.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, how does this sermon tackle that?
Well, it tackles that exact instinct by totally reframing how we look at the incarnation. The idea of God becoming human.
Right, which people usually get pretty hung up on.
Oh, completely.
Mm.
Modern audiences usually get bogged down in the biological mechanics of it all. Like, we want a test tube explanation of how the divine enters physical space.
We want the exact science of it.
Exactly. But Pastor Sung No argues that focusing on the how completely misses the sheer, shocking scale of the event.
Yeah, the sermon uses this analogy that really puts that scale into perspective. Like, if a human being magically turned into an ant.
Which sounds crazy enough on its own.
Right, but even that downgrade wouldn't even register compared to the gap between the divine and humanity.
It is an infinite drop.
Yeah, infinite. But, I mean, if that gap is so massive, human power struggles must look entirely ridiculous from a cosmic standpoint.
Oh, they do. We constantly act like we are the absolute center of the universe.
Right.
And the sermon actually points to Psalm 2 to illustrate that exact absurdity.
Wait, how so?
Well, it describes humans holding these grand political summits, plotting and fighting for dominance. And God looks down at this intense, self-centered posturing and actually laughs.
Wow.
Yeah, we are basically ants fighting over a breadcrumb, entirely convinced we govern the kitchen.
That is such a vivid picture. It is like watching two corporate executives going to war over a reserved parking space.
Yeah, they think it is life or death.
Right, but to anyone outside the building, it's just meaningless. Still, I mean, our default human instinct is to fight for that parking space. We want to climb higher.
We definitely do.
So how does this text in Philippians actually counter that primal drive?
Well, the Apostle Paul uses a really specific Greek word to describe what Jesus did, which is morphe.
Morphe. Okay.
Yeah. It translates to essential true nature. The crucial distinction here is that it's not a costume.
Oh, so he is not just playing dress up.
Right. By taking the morphe of a servant, Jesus wasn't pretending to be human. He took on true human nature while fully retaining his divine nature.
Okay, I need to stop you there for a second. The theology is fascinating, but I'm trying to connect it to our ego problem. Like, how does this help me in an argument?
Well, the sermon contrasts Jesus with Adam.
Right, because Adam's whole downfall was trying to reach up and grasp at being God.
Exactly. Adam tried to grab power. Jesus, on the other hand, already possessed that divine equality, but he didn't grasp it.
He didn't hold on to it for dear life.
No, and that is the mechanism that flips our human pride upside down. Pastor Sung No points out this profound distinction. The incarnation was not the subtraction of divinity.
Oh, yeah.
It was the addition of humanity. So, Jesus didn't empty himself of his divine identity. He emptied himself of his status.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he voluntarily dropped the privilege and the demand to be treated like the king of the universe. Adam tried to steal status he didn't own, right?
Right.
But Jesus surrendered status that was rightfully his.
That contrast is super stark. But, practically speaking, this sounds like a recipe for just becoming a total doormat.
It can definitely feel that way, yeah.
Because if someone at work is taking credit for your ideas, or you're in a bitter argument with a partner, taking the servant seat just feels like letting the other person walk all over you.
Right, letting them win.
Yeah. So how does the sermon reconcile this extreme self-denial with basic self-respect?
It really comes down to shifting your entire source of validation.
Okay, explain that.
Well, the sermon bluntly states that community division is our natural state. Anger, pride, needing to have the last word, that stuff is effortless.
Oh, absolutely.
True peace is entirely unnatural. But you can endure that unnatural self-denial when your ego is no longer on the line.
Because normally in an argument, losing means your status drops.
Exactly. But if the ultimate king already validated your worth by taking the lowest seat for you, well, your status is permanently secure.
Wow. You literally have nothing left to prove.
Nothing.
That is like a massive psychological shift. It diffuses all the adrenaline in a fight.
Yeah, because you can drop your pride and prioritize saving the relationship.
Right, because losing the argument no longer destroys your identity.
Exactly. The security of knowing your worth is already established. It gives you the absolute freedom to lose.
The freedom to lose. I love that.
Yeah, the ultimate power move isn't climbing to the top of the ladder. It is having the deep internal security to step down in the servant seat to lift someone else up.
That completely rewrites the rules of engagement for any conflict you face.
It really does.
I mean, it takes an incredible amount of strength to be the one who yields. So I will leave you all with this final thought to ponder.
Let's hear it.
If letting go of our privilege and our pride is the ultimate proof of love, in what area of your own life is your desperate need to be right actually the very thing destroying your connection with the people around you?